This is the entire history of Grand Theft Auto Online. Grand Theft Auto Online is now 10 years old, meaning it's older than the average player. So to celebrate, we're going to take a look back at the very first concepts of GTA Online all the way up to today, 10 years after release. We'll be covering the ups, the downs, and every single update along the way. So whether you're a veteran who's been playing GTA your whole life, or you've never even touched the game and you want to learn, here is the entire history and evolution of GTA Online. To first talk about GTA Online, we of course have to talk about GTA 5. And in fact, the very first info we have on GTA 5's development was way back in September 2009, when, during an earnings call for Take-Two Interactive, their CEO, Strauss Zelnick, was asked directly about Grand Theft Auto 5. His response was interesting. He said, "We're not going to announce it. We're not going to announce when we're going to announce it, and we're not going to announce a strategy about announcing it, or about when we are going to announce it either, or about the announcement strategy surrounding the announcement of the strategy." This is very funny because this is kind of what the entire community is hearing from this exact same guy here about GTA 6 in 2023. 1 year later, in 2010, Rockstar North posted 7 job advertisements relating to a new title. They were looking to hire environmental artists, physics programmers, and character animators, with gaming journalists noting that this was almost certainly for GTA 5. In June 2011, anonymous sources told GameSpot, the gaming outlet, that the next title was, quote, well underway, with a 2012 release date looking likely. However, it wasn't until October 25, 2011 that we got an official announcement for the game, when Rockstar quite literally just posted a tweet on Twitter saying hashtag GTA 5. 1 week later, on November 2nd, 2011, Rockstar took to YouTube with a video 1 minute and 24 seconds long called Grand Theft Auto 5 Trailer. And as you'd expect, the internet absolutely exploded. This video is currently sitting at 89 million views, which is incredible when you compare it with other game trailers around the same time. In true Rockstar fashion, they didn't include a release date on the trailer, but it was later confirmed that the game was scheduled to launch in March to May of 2013. However, in early 2013, Rockstar Games had to announce that the game wasn't ready to release yet and had been postponed to September 17th, 2013. By this point, the promotion of GTA 5 was in full effect. Rockstar Games dropped the first screenshots for the game on Twitter, and it looked amazing compared to the previous titles. Also around this time, the community gained access to a lot of the beta footage, which reused a lot of assets from GTA 4. Things like the minimap you can see here are a copy and paste from GTA 4. This kind of had the community a little bit worried because the graphics just looked like an enhanced Grand Theft Auto 4. But thankfully, the community aren't game developers, and this is nothing like what the game would actually look like at launch. Fast forward to July 10th, 2013, and we got our first official gameplay for Grand Theft Auto 5. Even though this footage may not look groundbreaking now, I assure you, in 2013, this was absolutely revolutionary. And unsurprisingly, the trailer was greeted with an overwhelmingly positive reception. People could not wait to jump into the streets of Los Santos. Would you believe me if I told you GTA Online wasn't even announced until August 16 officially? Yes, 1 month before the game came out, we finally got a trailer for Grand Theft Auto Online. And this trailer, while it got some people in the community a bit nervous, again, the majority of players were overwhelmingly excited. Not only would we be able to explore this amazing world as Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, but we would also get to build our own career with our own characters with our friends. Now that is incredibly exciting. However, players' excitement was quickly somewhat diminished when Rockstar announced that Heists would not be coming to the game at launch, with no expected release date. That didn't matter too much though, as September 17th rolled around and GTA 5 hit the shelves. With extremely positive reviews, $800 million sold within the first 24 hours, and $1 billion sold within the first 3 days. Safe to say, this was the most successful game launch of all time. Players rushed to complete the entire story, gaming review sites were posting their positive scores, and everything was going well for Rockstar Games. A short 2 weeks later, on October 1st, 2013, players were introduced to the world of GTA Online. That's right, you were lied to, it didn't launch on September 17, that was GTA 5. GTA Online didn't launch for 2 weeks later. But I don't even know if that's really true. Yes, the game did launch on October 1, but the servers weren't really online for a few days after that. If you were lucky enough to actually get into the game in the first few days, well, your character probably got deleted several times. For me personally, my character got deleted at least 5 times, and my PlayStation 3 was so hot that I had to put it in the fridge. I'm not joking. GTA Online almost set my house on fire. So how on earth has this game that hasn't really got a map expansion ever survived for 10 years? And not only survived, but actually thrived, and would you believe me if I told you it has been a top 5 selling game every single month since it came out over 10 years ago? That's unheard of. Well, it all started on October 1, 2013. Don't let anyone fool you with nostalgia. This game was not good when it launched. If you thought getting stuck in the clouds was a bad thing nowadays, good thing you don't remember or you didn't play back in 2013, because if you are one of the people that did, you probably feel like an old man saying, these kids, they have it easy these days. Because even if you did get into the game back when it launched on PlayStation 3, it would have been a few minutes. I'm going to say at least 3 to 5 minutes in the clouds just in a loading screen to get into the game. So what was GTA Online when it launched? Well, really, it was just free roam. That's right, we didn't have heists. All we had was a relatively small selection of vehicles, a few properties to buy, a set of standard contact missions and races to complete, and a bunch of stores to rob. But you know what? At that time, in 2013, we had never seen anything like that before in an online game, which is why so many people are happy when they think back to the memories they made way back in 2013. The reality is, it was just a much simpler time, and that feeling of getting a group of friends together, completing contact missions, robbing convenience stores, and racing in supercars was something that you could never actually get within the one game before. Sure, you could have a lot of those experiences individually by playing Call of Duty with friends, maybe playing a racing game, and if you wanted to rob stores, go play a game like Payday. But we had never seen all of those brought into one game in a massive open world, and that made Grand Theft Auto Online extremely special. But let's not pretend like it was all sunshine and rainbows. The game had a wide variety of issues. Rockstar quickly found out how important it would be to get a grip on money glitches, because people found ways to glitch and cheat very, very easily early on. In fact, I don't know if there were any players that could log into the game without getting gifted trillions of dollars by a cheater. So very early on in the life cycle of the game, Rockstar realized pretty quickly that they might have bitten off more than they could chew. Players realized they could buy absolutely anything they wanted, and even though this game was nothing like we had ever seen before, there wasn't that much to do unless you wanted to mess around in free roam. And oh boy, did people enjoy messing around in free roam.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
The first update for GTA Online came out in November 2013 called the Beach Bum Update. And unfortunately, it didn't really bring much new content. 3 new vehicles and some bug fixes. But really nothing new. Fast forward to the 11th of December and the Deathmatch and Race Creators update came out, allowing players to, well, believe it or not, create their own races and deathmatches. 1 week later, on the 17th of December, the Capture update was released, and you won't guess what came out in this update. That's right, capture modes. Capture the flag. Only 1 week later, again on December 24, the Holiday Gifts update came out, and so did snow in Los Santos. While the snow only lasted for 48 hours, the update also brought a bunch of Christmas-themed items, discounts to in-game vehicles, weapons, and apartments, and those items stayed around until the 5th of January. On February 13, 2014, the Valentine's Day Massacre Special update launched in GTA Online. While this wasn't a very big update, it did keep the content rolling at least a little bit, while the community was still waiting for heists. This update included 1 new weapon, the Gutenberg Sweeper, 10 new jobs, and 1 new vehicle, the Albany Roosevelt. As you can probably tell, this maybe gives you a few hours of fun, but it's certainly not big enough of a content drop to keep players playing for months. Good thing the GTA Online business update launched just a few weeks later. On the 4th of March, this update brought 2 new weapons, the Heavy Pistol and the Special Carbine, and 4 brand new vehicles, the Albany Alpha, the Dinka Jester, the Grotti Turismo R, and the Buckingham Vestra. But still, no word on heists. A few months later, on the 13th of May, the High Life update hit GTA Online, which was a very important update because this allowed players to own several properties. At this point, players could only own 1 property. So this was an incredibly important update for the health of GTA Online. In this update, we got 1 new weapon, the Bullpup Rifle, 4 new road vehicles, the Dinka Thrust, Pegasi Zentorno, the Dubachi Massacro, and the Ennis Huntley S. Maybe the best part of this update though were the 5 brand new High Life apartments. So now not only could players buy 2 properties, but now the players could buy one of the new apartments which had an entirely different look, different layouts, and a 10-car garage. Also in this update, players could now turn on non-contact races, which was a massive moment for the racing scene who was sick of everyone bumping and playing dirty, as well as a new mental state feature so players could see which other players were only going around and killing people. So now, players knew who they should be staying away from. On June 10th, 2014, at E3, Rockstar announced that GTA 5 would be coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One later that year, which left a lot of players excited for the new features that would come with this, but it also left a lot of players upset, confused as to why Rockstar is releasing GTA on new platforms before Heists even came to the game. 1 week later, the I'm Not a Hipster update came into GTA Online, bringing 12 new jobs, 7 new vehicles, and 2 new weapons, the Vintage Pistol and the Antique Cavalry Dagger. None of these new vehicles were near the top of the class though, so really this was one of the more forgettable updates. July rolled around and the Independence Day special hit GTA Online. Funnily enough though, this wasn't actually launched on Independence Day, it was launched on July 1st, which is actually Canada Day. This update added patriotic themed vehicles, new weapons, and also added the on-call matchmaking feature that lets players accept a job invite but lets them keep playing the game so that they don't have to join the lobby. Another important feature for the game's quality of life. The first aircraft-themed update launched on August 19th, 2014, the San Andreas Flight School update. This update added 3 new aircraft to the game, the Bezra, Miljet, and Buckingham Swift, as well as the Coquette Classic sports car. One of the main selling points of this DLC though was, well, the flight school, obviously, where players could learn how to fly properly, complete different challenges, and earn a decent amount of money as well. On October 2nd, the Last Team Standing update released, which again added new vehicles and weapons, 3 new land vehicles and 2 new weapons, the Marksman Rifle and Heavy Shotgun, as well as a new mode called Last Team Standing. 1 month later, on November 18th, GTA 5 finally released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It's pretty clear that both the graphics and frame rate had a massive step up in these versions, with players rushing to complete the single player yet again, but this time in the new first-person mode. Players were also able to transfer their progress over on GTA Online, but unfortunately, there was no crossplay with last-gen consoles, so players had to choose where they wanted to play. Play with better graphics on the newer consoles, or play with your friends who still don't have a PS4 or Xbox One. On December 18, the festive surprise update hit GTA Online, and shortly thereafter, snow hit Los Santos once again. This time though, 4 new weapons were introduced into the game, the homing launcher, firework launcher, proximity mines, and snowballs. That's right, snowball fights happened for the first time in GTA Online in 2014. 4 new vehicles were also introduced, the Vapid Slam Van, the Rat Truck, the Dubachi Massacro Race Car Edition, and the Dinka Jester race car variant.
I know you've been complaining, but you weren't ready.
2015 rolls around and so did Heists. That's right, finally on March 10th, 2015, Heists were in the game. As you could expect, this brought back a lot of people. And to no one's surprise, the servers yet again had a lot of issues. But for the players who were able to play, they were treated to 5 brand new heists. An overwhelming offering from Rockstar that made a lot of people accept the fact that, yeah, this was probably worth the wait. This was by far the biggest update to ever hit GTA Online. 5 brand new heists, all with their own set of setup missions and a finale, a new way for players to make millions of dollars while having tons of fun. But that wasn't all. The update also launched with 20 new vehicles and a new weapon, the flare gun. Some of the standout vehicles include the Armored Kuruma, the Heavy Insurgent, the Mammoth Hydra, the Buckingham Valkyrie, the Savage Helicopter, and the Lost Slam Van. Players quickly realized though, attempting these heists by yourself was a nightmare. Because in these heists, if one person leaves in any of the setups, the mission instantly fails and you have to start that mission again. Players also realized pretty quickly that doing the heist finale with random people is a bad idea because anyone who joins you is gonna ask for a massive cut or they're going to leave. So unfortunately, unless you wanted to slog away at this for tens of hours with random people, most of the people who completed these heists within the first few weeks were groups who were playing it with their friends. For those extremely savvy GTA players though, people realized that there was a very difficult achievement hidden away. This achievement was called Criminal Mastermind. To complete it, you need to complete every heist in order with the same group of people without anyone dying at all in any of the setups or finales. So players had to complete all of the setups and the finale for the Fleecer job, then move on to all of the setups and the finale for the Prison Break, complete all of the setups and finale for the Humane Labs raid, then move on to the Series A funding heist, and finishing off with all of the setups and finales for the Pacific Standard job, all with the same group without dying ever. And no, I don't just mean without failing, I mean no one can die at any point along the way. But why would anyone try this challenge? Surely you can't be that much of a completionist to want to do this. Well, no. Completing this challenge will give every player in that group $10 million. Keep in mind that the Pacific Standard job was only paying about $1 million at the time, split between 4 people, and that was the best way to make money in the game. So if you could pull off the Criminal Mastermind challenge, you would be the richest player of any of your friends. Just 1 month after Heists came to GTA Online, GTA 5 and GTA Online came to PC on the 14th of April 2015. With far better graphics than we had ever seen in this game before, almost everyone with a PC knew this game was an immediate purchase. Shortly thereafter though, well, the modding scene hit GTA 5. Crazy things you never thought would be possible in a Grand Theft Auto game were possible on PC. But let's just hope these crazy types of mods never make their way into GTA Online. So now that players had some really good and fun ways to make money now, GTA Online was alive and full of life for the next few months. June 10th rolls around and so does the Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1 update. And this was one of the most expensive updates in GTA Online history. But players were actually pretty big fans of this. Most players who have been playing since launch had so much money that they couldn't spend it on anything. And this update gave them some really expensive things to buy. 6 new vehicles including the 2 deluxe aircraft, the Buckingham Swift Deluxe and the Luxor Deluxe plane, which is $10 million. We also got 1 new weapon in this update, the Combat PDW. Also in this update, Rockstar Games overhauled the design of some of the in-game car websites, and even added a first-person vehicle hood camera on the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game. Only 1 month later, on the 8th of July, Rockstar added the Ill-Gotten Gains Part 2 update, which again brought some new vehicles, 6 to be exact, along with 2 weapons, the Marksman Pistol and the Knuckle Dusters, But with no real standout vehicles other than maybe the Progen T20, this update was a lot more forgettable than Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1. This was also the last update to come to the last gen consoles. That's right, after this, the PS3 and Xbox 360 didn't get any more updates, meaning for the next 7 years, this was the final version of the game on those consoles. A new radio station was also added to the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game called The Lab. This radio station was exclusive to the Windows version of the game when it launched earlier in 2015, but finally Rockstar decided to move it over to the current gen platforms. The free mode events update hit Los Santos on the 15th of September, and many players were very upset. Why? Well, this update added in a lot of new free mode events, of course. But what you might not have known is this also removed some of the fan favorite free mode events. The armored truck robberies, smuggler planes, and crate drops were removed from the game. And these were some of the most popular free mode events in the game. Instead, Rockstar opted to replace these with a different type of free mode events. You may have seen some of these in the game today. Things like Hunt the Beast, Time Trials, Hold the Wheel, and Dead Drops, to name a few. Maybe the most underrated part of this update though was the introduction of the Rockstar Editor. Along with this came the new Director mode, which gave filmmakers a lot of cool ways to make cinematics within the game. I know as a YouTuber, this was one of the most important updates because it allowed people to create cool cinematics and thumbnails. One of the more underrated updates in GTA Online launched later that year on the 10th of October, Lowriders. This brought the first, well, kind of actual storyline within GTA Online. We got 8 new contact missions with Lamar Davis, and unlike regular one-off contact missions, like I said, these kind of actually formed a story for once. This update brought 8 new vehicles as well as 2 new weapons, the machete and the machine pistol, but maybe the best part of this update was Benny's original motorworks, the first alternative to Los Santos Customs. Not only did Benny's allow players to have a different place to customize their vehicles, but it also gave them exclusive upgrades that you couldn't get at Los Santos Customs. In fact, it actually allowed you to transform some of the new vehicles into completely different variants of that vehicle. The Lowriders DLC was very well received, and I still don't think Rockstar quite understood how much players enjoyed it. Halloween rolled around and so did the Halloween Surprise update. This update brought 2 new vehicles, the Albany Lurcher and the Frankenstein, as well as a new weapon? Do we call a flashlight a weapon? Kind of, not really. As well as new spooky face masks and a new adversary mode called Slasher. But this update was nothing compared to what players would get on the 15th of December in Executives and Other Criminals. This was one of the most important updates in terms of shaping the future of GTA Online, because in this update, Rockstar allowed players to become a VIP. As a VIP, you could start up several new missions and challenges that other players couldn't. VIPs gained access to 6 new types of VIP work, as well as 6 new VIP challenges, all of which giving players a pretty fun way to make money in free mode. This update also brought 2 new weapons, the heavy revolver and the switchblade, but the main part of this update was the staggering 25 new vehicles that were added. Yes, 25. Some of these vehicles were pretty cool, things like the turreted limo, as well as some classics like the D-Class Mamba and the Nightshade, but the cream of the crop with this one was absolutely the 3 new super yachts that were added into the game. The Orion, the Pisces, and the Aquarius, starting from the low price of $6 million all the way up to $10 million with the Aquarius super yacht. This was probably the first time that you got your character to feel like he was, well, really rich, like he had made it. But that wasn't even all. This update also brought in new customizable penthouses, an entirely new type of high-end apartment. Oh, and it also brought another new type of high-end apartment, the Stilt Apartments in Vinewood Hills. So essentially, we got 3 new types of properties in this update, as well as the VIP system, which set up the future groundwork for businesses. At the time, this blew every previous DLC out of the water except for maybe Heists, and it ended 2015 on an extremely high note. Snow returned to GTA Online for Christmas in 2015, along with a new Adversary mode. The year is 2016, and Rockstar has added another Adversary mode on January 28th. This one's called Drop Zone, and it's actually kind of fun. Valentine's Day rolls around and Rockstar releases the Be My Valentine update on February 10. This update only brings one new vehicle, which is just an alternate version of the Roosevelt Vela from the year before. And it looks like this will be the stock standard type of update for Valentine's Days going forward. It's the 15th of March and Rockstar has added a part 2 to the Lowriders update that came out in 2015. This one adding 7 new Benny's Original Motorworks variants of existing vehicles. GTA car guys are absolutely thrilled. The double-barreled shotgun returns from GTA Chinatown Wars, and Rockstar adds the compact rifle, which is kinda just a worse version of the assault rifle. While there's no new contact missions with this one, we do get 3 new adversary modes: Sumo, Inch by Inch, and In and Out, which are all some of the better adversary modes in the game. This isn't the biggest update ever, but considering we're gonna be getting 3 more big DLCs this year, we're okay with it. And the first of those DLCs comes on June 7th with further advances in finance and felony. And businesses have just been added to GTA Online. Now we have our first ever new type of purchasable property. We can now buy a CEO office. We can either get a cheap-ish one for $1 million at Maze Bank West, or we can now buy the Maze Bank Tower for $4 million. But wait, this lets us set ourselves up as a CEO, which is kinda just a better VIP. And once we set ourselves up as a CEO, we can go to our computer in our Maze Bank office and buy something called a cargo warehouse. This is a completely new type of way to make money in GTA Online. We can pay money to find the location of crates and then go out, steal those crates and deliver them back to our warehouse. Then we can sell those crates for even more money. Players are really excited for the future of GTA Online. We can also own up to 5 cargo warehouses, increasing the amount of money you can make. There are 5 new CEO work and challenges available, including one called Headhunter, which pays us pretty well. We also get 2 new adversary modes and 14 new vehicles. And to top it all off, you can now buy a cargo bob from Warstock Cache and Carry, making this one of the best DLCs of all time. Only 1 month later, on the 12th of July, Rockstar adds in the Cunning Stunts update, adding a completely new type of race to GTA Online called a stunt race, along with 13 new vehicles. This transformed the racing scene of GTA Online from street racing to a more wacky, kinda crazy type. Don't look now, but there's quietly a scene starting up in September of 2016 called GTA Roleplay. A server called No Pixel has just launched, and it looks kind of promising in terms of giving players a new way to play GTA. But it is mods, and Rockstar hasn't been known to support modding that much, so we'll have to keep an eye on how this goes. It's already October, and Rockstar has released the Bikers update into GTA Online. This gives players an alternative to being a CEO and gives them the opportunity to become a motorcycle club president. Players can now buy a motorcycle club, which lets them install their own personal bike shop, as well as giving them a place to store their motorbikes. If you head into the conference room, you can also start up new types of missions called clubhouse contracts. If you head into your office inside your motorcycle club, you'll be able to buy 5 different types of businesses: a lockup, a lab, a cash factory, a weed farm, or a document forgery office. But these are nothing like the cargo warehouses that came out earlier in the year. These are passive businesses. All you have to do is buy or steal supplies, and then the staff inside these businesses will create product for you to sell. This completely changes the way you make money in GTA Online. Now we can make money in the background and go and make more money doing other things like clubhouse contracts or cargo warehouses. We also get 20 new motorbikes and 7 new weapons, bringing the total to over 40 new vehicles and 8 new types of purchasable properties already in 2016. But wait, it's already November and Rockstar has added in a new mode called Deadline, along with a new Tron-themed bike called the Shitaro. And this is one of the most fun and unique modes ever to be introduced into GTA. But don't blink, because it's already December and we have the Import-Export DLC. And now we have yet another new property and business, a vehicle warehouse. This is basically like a cargo warehouse, but for cars. Now we get to steal cars, bring them back to our warehouse, modify them, and sell them for more money. But these aren't just any cars. These are supercars, some of the coolest cars in the game. We also get 8 new CEO work missions and 8 new special vehicle missions called special vehicle work. Each of these missions teaches you how to use one of the new special vehicles released in this update. And we got 8 pretty cool vehicles. We got a ramp buggy that looks like it's out of Fast and Furious, an armored Boxville, a phantom wedge which looks like it's gonna destroy absolutely everything, a pickup truck that also acts as a boat, the MTL Wastelander, a rocket-powered Tesla called the Coil Rocket Voltic, and the Ruiner 2000, a car with missiles and a parachute. But wait, there's more. We also got 7 new Benny's upgrade vehicles that quickly became fan favorites, vehicles like the Truffade Nero and the Itali GTB. Oh, and did I mention we can now buy garages for our CEO office? That's right, we can now have up to a 60 car garage in our CEO office, making this the ultimate place to store all of our new vehicles. Snow returns once more at the end of 2016, wrapping up one of the best years ever for GTA Online. It's 2017 and Rockstar releases their first update on March 14th. The Cunning Stunts Special Vehicle Circuit DLC brings 20 new races for 3 different vehicles, the Blazer Aqua, Rocket Voltic, and Ruiner 2000 that were added last year. We also get 4 new vehicles, making this a pretty decent start to the year. The Gunrunning update launches on the 13th of June, and with it, it brings an entirely new business. This one is kind of like the biker businesses, but this time, instead of making drugs and counterfeit goods, we're making gunrunning supplies. But to do this, we need to buy an entire underground bunker, and players quickly realize that there is a lot to this business. This isn't just another biker business. A fully upgraded bunker comes with a shooting range, a personal quarters, and there's an entirely new bar inside the business called Research. Completing Research allows you to unlock a lot of different upgrades for the vehicles, as well as an entirely new type of ammo called Mark II ammo. This ammo is for Mark II weapons, which is an upgrade of the existing type of weapons in the game. You can now upgrade some of the weapons that were previously in the game to their Mark II versions. But to do this, you need to buy a new vehicle called the Mobile Operations Center. Inside this vehicle, you can buy a Mark II weapon workshop, giving players a different alternative to going to ammunition. Also inside the Mobile Operations Center, you can start up 8 new missions for 8 of the new vehicles that were added in the game. This is very similar to the import-export missions we got at the end of 2016. It's very clear that this update is military themed, and we've got some pretty heavy artillery to make use of now, including the Bravado Half-Track, the Weaponized Tampa, and the APC. But we also got a completely new type of vehicle called the Pegasi Oppressor. This is a futuristic motorbike that can actually fly. Kind of. I mean, it's got a rocket boost on it and wings. It can't fly forever, but it can fly a really long way. This is instantly one of the most popular vehicles in the game, and players are already using it to grief others. Let's just hope Rockstar never adds a Mark II version of it. It's August 29 and the Smuggler's Run DLC is here, and along with it, yet another new business. This time, we can now buy our own hangars, including, if we want to, a hangar inside the military base at Fort Zancudo. Doing this will allow players to enter Fort Zancudo without getting a wanted level. The hangar also gives us a place to store our aircraft for the first time ever, which is pretty useful considering we got 14 new aircrafts in this update. You can now buy the laser jet that's been in Fort Zancudo for all these years, and GTA Online is now no longer the street level crime game that it was at launch. As for the hangar business itself, this is kind of like the cargo warehouses, but just with aircraft now. Unfortunately though, it doesn't pay as much as the cargo warehouse does, or the vehicle warehouse, meaning that players aren't really playing it as much as they otherwise would, which is a massive shame because this business has a lot of potential. I wonder if it'll get buffed in the future. It's almost Christmas time and Rockstar releases the Doomsday Heists on December 12th. This is the first type of heist we've gotten since the original heist launched back in 2015, and this time we get 3 new heists and a new property to go along with it. This property is a massive massive underground facility, and this is clearly a different level compared to the high-end apartment heists. Inside this facility, you get access to your own personal orbital cannon. That's right, a space rocket that can instantly kill anyone on the map whenever you want. Something that griefers, modders, and cheaters would abuse heavily for years to come. But not only does it have a futuristic space cannon, this update is full of futuristic vehicles, including a Deluxo, which is a Back to the Future DeLorean that can fly, and it has tracking missiles. I'm sure no one will use this to grief others. We also get a massive Osprey called an Avenger, a flying jetpack that has missiles, a futuristic tank, a helicopter that can go off the radar to other players, a car that also acts as a submarine, and a jet that is now the biggest vehicle in the game. All of these vehicles will be used during the Doomsday Heists. And are these just normal heists where we rob banks? No, this time we're not even really robbing anything, we're saving the world. No, I'm not kidding, we're using futuristic vehicles to stop an AI attack that could doom the entire planet. If you had have told me about this when GTA Online launched, I would have called you crazy. We have to take down a guy called Avon Hertz, who is basically a parody of an evil Elon Musk, and his pet AI that's trying to take over the world named Clifford. Thankfully we succeed, and the president gives us a pretty nice payday. Once we save the world, we gain access to some pretty cool features, like, drumroll please, getting to call the cops off us for free when we call Lester. That's right, it's free now, and all we had to do was save the world. As always, snow hits Los Santos to end the year, and next year in 2018, Rockstar Games is getting prepared to launch Red Dead Redemption 2. So we should probably expect the content updates for GTA Online to slow down, which means we shouldn't expect 3 businesses and 3 heists in a single year ever again. 2018 is the year that GTA Online would change forever, but to start off the year, Rockstar started off with one of their usual racing-themed updates. The San Andreas Super Sports Series update brought 15 new vehicles and 10 new hot ring circuit races. This is basically NASCAR GTA Edition. On July 24th, we got our next business in the After Hours update. And initially, this looked like a pretty normal update with a pretty cool business, the nightclub. The nightclub is basically 2 businesses in one. You get to operate a nightclub upstairs, and you get to run an illegal underground warehouse downstairs. 2 passive businesses that help you make a lot of money. But wait, downstairs you can buy a vehicle called a Terabyte. This thing looks a lot like the Mobile Operations Center, and we can even start up some cool missions from the terminal. But there is a small vehicle workshop in here that would only fit a very specific motorbike. That motorbike is called the Oppressor Mark II. At launch, this bike will cost you almost $4 million, and it takes the Oppressor Mark I, but this time lets it fly permanently. Now, GTA Online has a flying hoverbike that has incredibly aggressive tracking missiles, making it by far the best vehicle in the game. The skies of Los Santos are immediately flooded with these flying bikes, and almost no one is able to sell any of their business stock without getting blown up. Grand Theft Auto Online is well and truly no longer a street-level crime game, with this update taking it even further away from the street-level game that it was in 2013. Rockstar launches Red Dead Redemption 2, and GTA Online players have to wait 5 months for the next DLC, the longest drought in GTA Online history. The Arena War update launches on December 11th, turning GTA Online into an even more wacky game than it was before. This update brings an entirely new mode called Arena Wars, allows players to purchase an arena workshop inside the Maze Bank Arena, and brings 12 different vehicles that you can upgrade into Arena War vehicles. These vehicles have weapons, armor, spinning blades on the front, and can jump extremely high. We also get 3 alien-themed weapons, the Up and Atomizer, the Unholy Hellbringer, and the Widowmaker, which completely divides the GTA player base. Longer-time fans aren't happy with this update because they want GTA to stay a street-level game. But the younger players of GTA Online find this really fun, because at this time in 2018, there's a very popular game called Fortnite, and this type of content appeals to that audience. Regardless of whether players like or dislike this DLC, it's quite clear that Rockstar is changing the way they make content. The festive surprise returns for Christmas, and we get 3 new vehicles, 2 2 more adversary modes and a new weapon. However, at the start of 2019, the 5-month drought from last year is extended to 7 months this year, as it takes 7 months for the next DLC to come out. But it's a pretty big one. The Diamond Casino and Resort launches on the 23rd of July 2019, marking the first significant map change ever in GTA Online's history. The casino has been transformed into the Diamond Casino and Resort, and yes, you can go inside and gamble, with a bunch of different gambling options available and a new lucky wheel that you can spin every day to win prizes. This update is a massive success. Not only that, but you can buy a penthouse in the Diamond Casino that lets you start up an entirely new set of story missions. A total of 22 new vehicles were added in this update, but unfortunately, as it was pretty clear development on GTA Online was slowing down as Rockstar moved more resources over to Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Online, and of course their next GTA game, there was no business added with this update. December 12 rolls around and players are given the opportunity to rob the Diamond Casino in the Diamond Casino Heist update. To do this, players need to buy a new property called the Arcade. While the Arcade lets you make a bit of money through the safe in your office, the underground warehouse hidden away in the basement is where most of the fun was had. Players are given 3 options to rob the Diamond Casino. Try and break in like a ninja and do it stealthy, dress up in a variety of disguises and try and con your way to the vault, or go in guns blazing and try and take everyone out on your way to getting rich. This was by far the most successful heist in GTA history, because now you are given the option to complete all of the setup missions for this heist completely solo, giving many more players a chance to actually finally complete a heist. The finale still needed to be completed with 2 players though, but it's a lot easier to find someone for a finale mission instead of grinding away doing 10 setups. Standout vehicles like Formula cars, a remote-controlled mini tank, and a Honda Civic made this one of the better DLCs we had in a couple of years. 2020 rolls around and everyone is locked inside. Safe to say, everyone became extremely bored, but no one expected GTA to go viral for this random reason. Aliens are attacking everyone in GTA Online. 2 different colors of aliens in particular, green and purple. Players wearing alien suits were running around with melee weapons, beating up on unexpected civilians. Suddenly, players who hadn't played GTA Online in years were coming back to the game to participate in this battle. Ultimately, in the end, the purple aliens were just outnumbered and green aliens took over Los Santos. 6 new missions were added on the 23rd of April 2020 in a tiny DLC called Gerald's Last Play. At this point, most of the Rockstar development team was forced to work from home, and it was widely speculated that Rockstar had planned to release a DLC in the middle of the year called Cops and Crooks. But due to the massive amount of issues with police in real life popping up around that time, this DLC had been permanently delayed, and Rockstar had to make up a tiny DLC in the middle of the year to keep players playing. The Los Santos Summer Special launched on the 11th of August, and it was one of the more forgettable DLCs for sure. 6 new missions for your super yachts that really didn't pay very well, 9 new races and 15 new vehicles were added, but overall, this was the smallest mid-year update we had got in at least 5 years. The player base was quite upset, but unfortunately, I don't really think there was much Rockstar could do at this stage. They had to scrap their originally planned DLC, everyone was working from home, it was a tough situation. But thankfully, at the end of the year, one of the best DLCs to hit GTA Online launched. On December 15, we got the Cayo Perico Heist. This was the first and only new location ever added to GTA Online, giving players an entirely new island to go and rob. Unfortunately, you're not able to free roam in this island, but that didn't stop it from becoming the most highly praised heist ever. It also doesn't hurt that players were easily able to make $1.5 million per heist solo. Yes, that's right, this is the first ever solo heist added to GTA Online, and players were getting used to getting a new heist every couple of years. I can't wait to see what heist Rockstar adds in 2021. The Cayo Perico heist update added 20 new vehicles, including an entire submarine. Yes, a drivable submarine called the Kasatka. We also got 3 new weapons, the military rifle, combat shotgun, shotgun and Perico pistol. Snow does hit Los Santos for Christmas, but players are too busy grinding the Cayo Perico heist to notice. 2021 rolls around and Rockstar adds 8 new stunt races in May, followed by 7 new races for Deadline and 7 more maps for Survival in June. But this is just a warm-up for the massive DLC we get in July. It's the 16th of June 2021 and Rockstar gives the entire fanbase a 6-month warning that they will be shutting down the servers on last-gen consoles, meaning that GTA Online will no longer be playable on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 as of December 16, 2021. While this makes a lot of players sad and nostalgic, I don't think many players were really upset at this, as basically everyone at this point has moved on to PlayStation 4. On July 20, the Los Santos Tuners update hits the streets, and players did not expect to love this DLC as much as they did. Upon stepping into Los Santos, players were greeted with a text on their phone inviting them to the LS car meet, an entirely new social space based on the southern side of Los Santos. In the LS car meet, there is an entirely new test track where you can test out all of the new vehicles, and there's even a new way to win a free vehicle each week on the prize ride. But this was just the very first that this update had to offer. We got 2 completely new type of races, street races and pursuit races. These street races were nothing like the normal type of race you're used to in GTA Online. This race had shortcuts, neon lights, and just a completely different underground racing feel. Pursuit races, on the other hand, had every single player being chased by the cops as they raced to the finish line on the other side of the map. But even then, we're just getting started on this update because we have an entirely new business to play with called the Auto Shop. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's your own custom auto shop where you can store and customize your own cars. Customers will also bring their cars in for us to customize and deliver back to them for a profit, meaning we now have one of our first legal businesses in the game. But wait, we can also do some illegal stuff like the 7 new mini heists that launch with this business. All of these are basically what I said, mini heists. All of them have 2 setup missions and a finale. These will take most players about 20 to 30 minutes to complete, and they'll pay around $180,000 each. Fast-paced fun that pays pretty well. 17 new cars are added, including some standouts like the Dinka Jester RR and the Calico GTF. A couple months later, Rockstar also adds in the Lost contract to the auto shop, as well as the Union Depository contract, allowing players to rob the exact same bank that Michael, Franklin, and Trevor did in single player. Speaking of Franklin, it's December 15th already, and the contract DLC is now out, and Franklin returns to GTA Online. This time though, he's bringing someone with him, Dr. Dre. That's right, I bet no one expected Dr. Dre to be in GTA Online, but here we are. Dr. Dre's phone has been stolen. In fact, it was stolen last year on our way to Cayo Perico. But now, we have to go find the guy that stole it and return it to Dr. Dre. To do this, we need to buy a new property called an agency, but this business has a lot more to it than meets the eye. Not only can we complete the Dr. Dre contract from here, but we can complete a wide variety of security contracts for other clients. We can also complete new missions called Payphone Hits, which are a throwback to the single-player missions that Franklin did for Lester. We also get a garage in our agency that has an Amani Tech workshop. This allows us to turn some of the new vehicles added in this update to Amani Tech vehicles. What does that mean? Well, now these vehicles have brand new enhancements, like being able to tank a lot more explosives before blowing up, being able to be controlled remotely, and being able to have a missile lock-on jammer. That's right, driving these vehicles, those pesky Oppressor Mark II griefers can't hit you. Upon completing the Dr. Dre contract though, players notice that you can visit Record A Studios for some reason. When you head inside and smoke with Franklin and Lamar, something crazy happens. Your characters pass out and you spawn in as either Franklin or Lamar. That's right, Rockstar hid 3 secret missions called Short Trips in the Dr. Dre DLC. This is the closest thing we ever got to a single-player DLC in GTA Online, and it provides some context to what's happening with Franklin and Lamar since the story. Lamar ends up starting his own organics business, and Franklin, well, he's married to Tanisha and has kids. Rockstar added an Easter egg scene at the end of this DLC, making this one of the fan favorites. It's 2022, and on the 15th of March, Rockstar releases GTA 5 once again for the newer consoles, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. And while a lot of people are happy with things like slight graphics improvements, frame rate improvements, a new menu system, and a new type of vehicle upgrade called House Special Works upgrades, the overall sentiment in the community is that Rockstar is milking this game into the ground, and that these improvements don't warrant them being brought to an entirely new generation of consoles. Just like in 2014, when Rockstar re-released the game on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, you had to transfer your character across and leave any friends behind on the previous consoles because there is no crossplay. All trailers for Expanded and Enhanced on Rockstar's YouTube channels get dislike bombed, with the entire fanbase showing their frustration that we are once again getting another re-release instead of a GTA 6 trailer. After re-releasing this game for the third or fourth time, Rockstar decided to double down and get people to spend even more money on a new subscription service called GTA Plus. Now, as of March 26, 2022, players can now pay $5.99 a month to get access to GTA Plus, giving them additional in-game benefits like a free car each month, additional discounts on specific items, and additional money bonuses on specific events. After getting a lot of backlash not only for the re-release of the game, but also for the announcement of GTA Plus, Rockstar goes silent for a few months. That is, until the Criminal Enterprises DLC launches on July 26, 2022. Unfortunately, this update really didn't add much compared to last year's mid-year DLC with Los Santos Tuners, and the only real new content we get is a handful of contact missions, as well as 18 new vehicles which were drip-fed over the next 4 months. This update did bring a lot of quality of life improvements though, including a nerf to the tracking of the Oppressor Mark II missiles, a pay increase to a bunch of the existing heists in the game, and unfortunately a massive nerf to the cooldown of the Cayo Perico heist. The best of the quality of life changes though were the improvements to existing businesses. While this update didn't add any new businesses, it upgraded a lot of the existing ones. The bunker, the nightclub, and the cargo warehouses all got a bunch of quality of life improvements that bring them up to scratch compared to other businesses. While this definitely isn't thought of as one of the best DLCs ever, it did bring a lot of underrated improvements that make it have a nice spot in people's hearts. August 2022 rolls around, and Rockstar opens 2 dealerships, Premium Deluxe Motorsport, where Simeon is, and Luxury Autos, a new dealership in Vinewood Hills. These locations will feature certain vehicles every week that have specific customizations on them, meaning not only can players now buy cars from websites, but they can also walk into the dealerships and buy them that way. Rockstar Games goes silent and no one hears from them for the next few months. September 18th rolls around, and what just happened? Over 50 minutes of Grand Theft Auto 6 footage has leaked, and the entire internet is going absolutely crazy. Early development footage of GTA 6 is now absolutely everywhere, and Rockstar is in a panic trying to take it all off the internet. This footage confirms that there will be 2 main characters called Jason and Lucia. It shows the game will be set in Vice City, and everything looks like a massive step up over GTA 5. Rockstar Games makes a tweet confirming that this is in fact real, and it quickly becomes the most liked gaming tweet in Twitter history. Pretty impressive for a game that hasn't even got a trailer. December 13th is here, and the Los Santos Drug Wars update hits GTA Online, bringing new story missions, a new business called the Acid Lab, and a new social space called the Freak Shop. The Acid Lab is a passive business that basically works the exact same way as the existing MC businesses in the game. Unfortunately, only the first half of the story missions have dropped for this DLC, and we're gonna have to wait another 3 months to get part 2. Yep, it's pretty clear at this point that Rockstar is working on GTA 6, and the GTA Online content cycle has slowed down a lot. That brings us to 2023. March rolls around and the Drug Wars Part 2 update is here, and players are now able to buy a 50-car garage. 2023 is off to a pretty good start. That is, until June 13th, when the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC comes out. This update brings a few new contact missions, some quality of life upgrades, and what? Rockstar removed 1/3 of the vehicles in the game, meaning you can no longer buy them? Well, really, the players should have seen this coming. When Rockstar introduced dealerships way back in 2022, Rockstar's entire plan for this was to eventually remove vehicles from websites and only make them available at specific times throughout the year in these dealerships. So now, in order to buy a lot of these vehicles, you have to wait weeks or months until they appear in one of the in-game dealerships. However, with this update, Rockstar also released a new dealership called the Vinewood Car Club that is exclusive to GTA Plus members, meaning for that a lot of these vehicles that Rockstar removed, they will become available in one of the dealerships, and one of those dealerships may be exclusive to GTA Plus members, meaning that Rockstar removed a lot of content and paywalled some of it behind GTA Plus. Fans are absolutely outraged, to say the least. A couple of months later, Rockstar announces they are purchasing CFX.re, the creators of 5M and GTA Roleplay. A complete change of tone from what Rockstar normally does with modders, which is despise them. People seem to think that this is likely going to be a massive step forward for GTA 6 Online. Fast forward a few months to the 17th of September and GTA 5 turns 10 years old. Rockstar releases a Twitter post and a Newswire article thanking the community for what has been an incredible run. Despite the ups and downs that we've covered in this video, one thing is pretty clear: this game just refuses to die. And as GTA Online turns 10 years old today on the 1st of October with the release of this video, I think we can all agree that we love this game and it's given us a lot of amazing memories. So thank you, Rockstar Games, and until your next announcement, we'll all be here waiting, hoping for a GTA 6 trailer. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!